key leadership lesson.
Let's talk about the book.
Sure.
The Dying Art of Leadership.
Yep.
Talks about hitting the awkwardness head on. I love that. In the book, you talk about adapting styles and how grief impacts performance. And that was just a few thoughts.
Right.
What do you feel are the key lessons that a leader would gain by reading this book?
Sure. So the first one is the broader definition of grief, right? That it's any emotionally traumatic event that will cause a person to grieve, right? So that encompasses all kinds of things on their personal life, from divorces and spousal abuse and, whatever's going on in their personal life, to, and I've done this with audiences, to, people never recognize that company initiatives cause grief, right? So we could talk for an hour and people would throw out all of the things on the personal side, but no one ever says, oh yeah, and then we have company initiatives that cause change in people's lives, right? So that's the first part is the broader definition. The second piece that we would hope leaders would take away from the book is the notion that leaders need to engage early in the process, right? That waiting for performance issues to arise is way too late, right? And some things are obviously more visible than others and easier to engage in than others because they are so visible. But leaders need to engage early, right? And yes, these conversations are emotional and they're awkward and they're uncomfortable, but you should have them anyway, right? And you shouldn't be trying to fix the problem or compare the problem. You should be really listening with empathy and compassion, and then adapting your leadership style and making changes so that you can actually support the person as they're going through whatever the issue is, right? Those are the three things the three really big things. I guess there would be a fourth one.
Okay.
And that is these same principles apply when the leader is the one who's struggling with a grief event or burnout. They should engage their teams early. They should be vulnerable and raise their hand and say they need help. If not to their boss, to their team. I have done that personally, and you get remarkable results. The team just rallies around you because they want to help, but they don't know how. And so that would be the fourth point, which is, the leader, the greatest thing a leader could do when they're struggling is to admit it. Because by doing so, they will actually start to instill the very culture that they need in that the organization needs in order to be able to manage change and grief and emotion and burnout better. Right.
That is such a great soundbite. The most important thing that a leader could do is actually admit they're struggling.
Correct.
Because you are really demonstrating what you're asking of someone else.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of do as I say, not as I do, now you're actually saying, hey, look at what I'm doing, and I want you to do the same thing whenever you have an issue.
Yeah.